Hello scrapbookers, it's Katie Scott and it is January 2nd, 2014, so that's going to take a little while to get used to saying 2014. When are we going to start calling it like 2014? I don't know. Okay, so what is this? This is my binder of fall, and I signed up for Stacy Julian's inspired scrapbooking class at Big Picture Classes, and the first topic of the month, so each month gets a different topic, but the topic of January is seasons. And so one of the ways, an easy way to help yourself if you do seasonal scrapbooking, I have a cold, is to pick things in your stash and create kits for yourself of seasons. And so I just kind of wanted to show you, this is the fall season, so it's going to have papers and embellishments that relate to the fall, including Halloween, but also just colors that maybe look like fall colors, Thanksgiving themes. So I just wanted to basically show you what was here in this file and also just see for it myself. Sometimes when you go through your old stuff, the old stuff will come back around again. So we're seeing dream catchers, yes we are, in 2014. There's some, I think there was a dream catcher on a glitz design paper from 2013, and I think there's one on an American Crafts paper for 2014, and there's feathers here too, which were trendy in 2013. So I'm just going to put that to the side. I'm probably not going to use that today, but you will find that things do come around again in the world of scrapbooking, just like in the world of fashion, but then usually they'll come back around with a different twist. So it's a constant struggle as to what are you going to hold on to and what are you going to get rid of. And I, in the fall season, my fall season of 2013, I got rid of 12 inches of 12 by 12 patterned paper, and I'll tell you what, a lot of it was purple, and then guess what? Purple is the color of the year for 2014. So do I regret the decision to get rid of all that paper? No, not really. It went to some really nice people, the girls that I work with, but I do think that's kind of funny. So whatever you think is like so has been in your supplies, like, oh, don't count that out because it's probably going to come back. Like the next thing we'll probably see is brown will come back. Everybody says, oh, remember when everything was all brown? Well, that'll probably be the color of next year, right? Anyways, these are just a bunch of different fall related items, and this is not what I'm going to be doing today. I know I'm eating up some time here, but I just wanted to show this to you, and I also wanted to look, just to kind of look to see what I had, just because in this new class by Stacy Julian, Inspired Scrapbooking, it's all about seasons. So not just the seasons of the year, but seasons of your life. But if you have an extensive stash like I do, it's, well, there's that color, sort of the year. Kind of, sort of. Oh, that one's pretty. It's so, blah, I can talk. I can't talk. I have a cold. But it's good to, so I recommend going through your stash from time to time, just even if you don't do anything with it at all, just to look at it, to see what you kind of take inventory of what is there, and to say, huh, boy, I have a lot of stuff, or, hey, I want to use that, or maybe I don't need to buy so much new stuff. That's a constant struggle, I think, with scrapbookers, is that we just, you know, there's always new exciting things to get, and if we get them, you've got to keep up with, you've got to have a certain amount of supplies so that you feel like you have options, but after a certain point it gets to be overwhelming. Anyways, organizing some of your supplies by season is a great way to kind of have a kit of, here's a fall kit. So this can be used, it's heavy too. But yeah, I just wanted to show you that I also have scrapbook albums that like I have fall, spring, winter, summer. But I do keep some supplies in these little bins organized by season. So that's not actually what I'm going to be scrapbooking today. Oh, sorry. Sometimes I go off on little tangents. But what I did yesterday, we had a Get It Scrapped live crop. And I find it's hard for me to do a live crop because I always want to get things done as fast as I can. So what I did during the live crop yesterday was I just put photos into a storage binder, and these are my most recent photos. And so the photo that I'm going to use for the layout that I'm going to make today, I'm going to cough, sorry, is in one of these binders. I'm not exactly sure where it is, but I know it's close. It's a picture of my husband and I. And so the topic for the Inspired Scrapbooking this month is seasons. And it's my husband and I's anniversary tomorrow. And we'll be married 15 years tomorrow. I just had to figure that out in my head. We were married in 1999. So whatever year it is, like it's 2014. So if it's the 14, then we've been married for 15 years. So there's one picture of us. Here's another one. I think I'll just use this one. I don't know. I know I have a better one. I could use two pictures. And so we're actually, so before we had kids, we used to go on dates, right? And we were together for a long time before we had kids. I think something like 8 years. We met in 1995, and then we had our first child in 2012. So, yeah, I think that's 8 years. 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 2001 to 7 years? 7 or 8 years. Oh, I have a cold, and I'm going to blame my math skills on my cold. Although, I'll tell you what, my math skills have improved significantly this year because of this little guy. I can divide complex fractions again. Yeah. Okay, so this was kind of the better picture, I thought. So there's two different pictures of us, one at home and one at work. So I like using both of those, and they were both taken over the last month, so you can see we clean up nice. But when we're at home, we usually don't, I don't usually wear makeup when we're at home or do my hair. Maybe I should, but these are just some of the pictures from the last couple months. And I do print a lot of photos, and I find that I like having the option of more photos because then I'm more likely to use them. I'm going to cough again, sorry. Oh my gosh. Ugh. So I'm wondering, should I put them this way or this way on the layout? I think that way. So the layout that I'm kind of going to be scrap lifting today is over at 2Ps. Lisa Dickinson has a series called Seeing Double, and the one that I'm going to take inspiration from is called Mary Mary. And what the basic setup of the layout is she's done on the silhouette words going down. Let me just see if I can show you it. So I did these words a while ago, but they've just been sitting here on my desk, so I'm going to use them. So the 2 photos are going to be on this side of the layout, and then all of these are going to be on the other side of the layout, and just a little bit of journaling underneath the photos, and a couple of doodads, that sort of thing. So I just need to get a piece of patterned paper, and hopefully this layout's going to go together fairly quickly, I hope. Let's see. I should never say that, I think. Because then I think it probably won't. So she used a grid as her background. I sort of like the idea of using a camera since these are selfies, but I don't know if I'll do that. I also have, okay, I have a green grid. I don't like that at all. I've got this pink paisley. That's kind of cute. It's got hearts here. I kind of like it because I can, I could write right on here, and it's first kiss, so that's good. See what's on the other side. I don't like not using that this cute stuff, because that's so cute, but it's really, I think it's important to get over that and just use it anyways. So let's go with this, and yeah, I'm just doing one more little cursory look. I also have this, which could be cute. But I'm not going to use that, although I do like this paper. This is Photo Freedom Cartabella. This is Cartabella. That surprises me because this is just a regular texture, and I don't know if I've told you. If you haven't seen my videos before, if I ever come across a piece of Cartabella paper, I always get so excited because I love the way it feels. And this does not have that feeling. It is, they must have different treatments for different lines. So I think the one that I'm in love with is called Hello Again. And wow. So that's not, that's not it. That's so funny. I didn't know that. Okay, one more option. I kind of like that too. So it's between these two. I like a light, I think I'm going to like a lighter background, but I don't think it's going to be that one. Let me just look one more time, and then I promise I will stop, because that's the thing with when you're choosing your papers. If you keep going and you keep selecting, guess what you're not doing? Scrapbooking. Okay, this would be the other option, and if I use this, I would probably want to do something where I would cover up that owl. So I could do it like something like that, but then I'd still have this little frog to deal with. So I'm going to say no on that paper. I think maybe this Cartabella or this pink paisley paper I think will work the best. So I do want to trim down my photos a little bit, and I use a guillotine trimmer. I got this at Office Depot over 20 years ago, and so about as long as I've known him. So I'm just trimming that down a little bit, and then let's just see. So I've got 5.5 by say 3.5, and I'm not really cutting anything crucial out of the photo. And then let's try that again. Five and a half by 3.5, and that will just give me some more room to play on the layout, and I don't think I've missed out on anything there. Okay. So this season would be, it's hard to be married for 15 years. It's not, you go through ups and downs, and it is like a season, you'd have different seasons. And we've had seasons of, we get along pretty well, but every once in a while we find the opportunity to annoy each other. As I'm sure anyone who's been married for a long time can identify with. Sometimes that person that you love so much can just annoy you for no good reason. And it doesn't mean it's the end of the world. And I'll tell you this, my husband is a divorce lawyer. So I'm a lawyer as well, but I don't do divorces. I tried to do them in our first couple years, our first year of practice, and my parents were divorced, and I couldn't tolerate it. It was just too emotional for me. I just really, as my parents were divorced, so I have some strong feelings about divorce. I believe that, it's the only way. I mean, of course, everyone has their own, life and choosing to do. But in my world, it would be, when I got married and when he got married, my husband and I got married, we were really of the opinion that this was going to be forever. Like, we weren't ever going to get divorced. And so with that going in, when you hit the hard times, because you will, or you just hit times when, oh my gosh, every single thing you do just annoys me for no good reason, right? You'll hit those times in a marriage, and I forgot my original point. Anyways, this layout is about, having to fall in love with each other. And I'm saying having to because if you're choosing, if you choose to be married for life, which we have, then you really have to dig deep and fall in love with that same person over and over and over again. And you really have to have a long-term view of your marriage. Look at the horizon. And I've actually done a lot of scrapbooking about my relationship. And we had a rough patch when I had 2 babies under 2. We were renovating our house, and my mother came to live with us. So our house got smaller. We had 2 babies, two crazy dogs, who were still young at the time, and it was a crazy time. And so I think I did a video way back when so it was about 10 years ago now that all happened, because my kids are 10 and 11 now. Okay. Trying to see where I like the placement of these photos. I think like this. Okay. You just have to, I'm sorry that I'm coughing and sniffling so much, but I am committed to getting a bunch of scrapbook pages done this year. So I'm going to try to go on even with my cold. So I have all of these, let me just move that over again. All of these here that say love, 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 love. And they also have date night. I have 2 words that say date night, and that is my, we need to go on more dates. So I know I lost my train of thought back there, sorry. I had something brilliant to say. I don't know if it really was. Okay, so the inspiration that I'm taking from Lisa Dickinson is she's done this love, 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 love all the way down the page, and she's also done it sort of in a rainbow. So she starts with blue, and then she goes to pink, and then green, and then red. So let's see what I can do to kind of mimic that. I love using Copic markers to alter the colors of my titles. So let me just get a scrap piece of paper to play on here. Okay. So I was going to do altered books at one time, and then I never ended up doing them. You ever do that? You're like, I'm going to rule the world with all of my creativity, and then, yeah, not everything gets done. Anyway, so I bought some old books at one of our local libraries has some shelves of books that you can go purchase for like $1 a paperback, or $1 for a hardback and 25 cents for paperback. So if you ever want to alter books, I would say go to a thrift store or a library that gets rid of their old stuff. And that's a good way to do it. But I would also say don't overbuy, because what you think you're going to do and what you do are probably two different things. So usually I will stick things down as I'm making the layout, but on this layout I think I do want to position everything before I lay it down. So there's love in the top, and on this paper is actually pink, but it's a very light pink, and so I think it's just going to take whatever color I give it. And so I don't really use my Copics the way that they're intended to. I mostly use them to alter the colors of titles and occasionally embellishments. There is at my local scrapbook store, it's called Whimsidoodle. They have scrapbooking yard sales, and the last time I went, this one lady had like a zillion Copic markers for 60 bucks, and I should have bought them, and I didn't. But I'll tell you what, if I see any Copic markers at the yard sale coming up on the 11th of January, I'm gonna buy them. So I might go early. Depending on what I'm looking for, I either go early or late to the yard sales. I really kind of like the way it took this color, because it's not uniform. It looks almost like the trendy watercolors that we're seeing from CHA this year. So I'm just going to try to use a different color Copic each time I do this. Okay, so my videos are in real time, so sometimes they go really long, and sometimes they're short, and sometimes I ramble, and sometimes I don't finish my sentences, and most of the time I don't put on makeup. But I haven't been shooting the ones that you can actually see me lately. I've just been shooting them down so you can see what I'm doing. And if I had two cameras, I think it would be fun to see both views, because I actually like to see the person talking, but it's kind of technically more difficult than I have the patience for. Because if you ever watch cooking shows, they'll have the person talking and then you'll see like an up close of what they're doing. And so I think really good videos about how to do scrapbooking or how to do anything have those two different camera views. But I mainly do these videos for fun. I like the kind of time pressure that it gives me, because while I don't limit myself to a certain amount of time, I do feel like, you know, the shorter the better. So having the limitation of time gives me you better just keep going, get this layout done, kind of attitude towards it. So there we go. Love, love, love. But I think I like them also. I like doing the videos in real time too, because it shows you, the viewer, like exactly how long it's taking me. And I think so many of the videos that we see online, and there's some really awesome videos that are edited really well and planned out, and I think they're, you know, they're really good, and I love them too. But I think they give us a false sense of how long it's taking to finish a layout. And one of the messages over at 2Ps right now is how many layouts have you gotten done over 2013, and also you know, if you get a lot of layouts done, how on earth do you get it done? And one lady was like, well, I don't have any kids. And I'm here to tell you, I do have kids, and I have a full-time job, and I'm self-employed, so I do have the luxury of a lot of flexibility as to when I work and what I do. But you know, my husband and I run our own business, and we have had that business for 2 years longer than we've had our marriage. So we started, yes, I started a business with my boyfriend. Crazy leap of faith that worked out well. But we kind of, that's part of the theme of this page is we you know, I have this theory in scrapbooking of pick it and stick it, and that's the same theory I have in marriage. You know, pick it and stick it. If you ever listen to Zig Ziglar on marriage, he talks about, you know, if you think you married the wrong person, that's the wrong way to think about it. It's, I don't remember exactly what he says, but Zig Ziglar has some really great things to say about marriage. So there's my love, 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 love. And I'm going to cough again. I'm sorry. So I want to, and then I have these 2 date nights. And so I really think that I just want to have it, I was going to put them over here, but I think I was going to put them right under all those loves. But I think I will color one of them differently. Let me just see. Let's use one more different color. Yeah, that's cute. Anyways, the topic of this page is it's hard to stay married. and the other thing, the other reason this page is kind of timely is someone in our family told us yesterday that they were getting divorced, and it was, you know, that was sad to hear because they've been together for a long time. But it was apparently amicable and everybody's okay. But that's not really, so they this other couple like raised their children, and then now that their children are gone, it's time to get divorced. And that's not how I want my marriage to go. And I know you can't, you know, can't predict everything, but you can try. You can try to be a control freak. So one of the things, you know, that I want to commit to in this coming year is to really spend some more time with my husband without the kids, because the kids have really taken center stage for a long time in our lives, and they will continue to. I mean, I don't think that's going to change for a while, but because they're 10 and 11, but in, you know, 8 years, it's going to be a lot different for us, and we need to be in a place where we still like each other. So we're going to go on more date nights. Now, I have lost one of my eyes because I've had these little bits on the table for a while, and yikes, I've lost one of the eyes. So I have one of the eyes. I just need to find the other one. don't think I have it. I think it's gone, baby, gone. So I'm just going to use a different scrap that looks good enough, and hopefully it'll just blend right in. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So the next question is how am I going to adhere all that stuff down? And one technique I really like to use is the ThermoWeb sticky dots, and they're very easy to use. So I'm already feeling like this is going too long because I don't usually place things and then and then stick them down. I usually just stick them down as I go, because if I would have just stuck them down as I went, they would be just fine. But I didn't do that, so I'm going to do that now. So this is ThermoWeb sticky dots. And the way that they work is you just put your die cut shape or letter or whatever you have right down on the page, and then you just give it a little pressure, and then when you lift it up, it'll have the dots just stuck to the space. Isn't that cool? I have a link on my blog if you want to support my blog or my videos. If you use the link, the Amazon affiliate link on my blog, then I get 4% of whatever you buy on Amazon, so it doesn't have to be those dots. It can be anything like toilet paper or whatever you buy. And your price doesn't go up at all. So it's just like that affiliate program is just to, it gives you the benefit of, it gives the link person the benefit of 4% of whatever is purchased, but it doesn't increase the price for the buyer. But it is a nice little, if you watch my videos a lot or you enjoy my blog, and you shop over at Amazon anyways, if you could just use my link once or twice, that would be awesome. Oops. Anyways, I listed this yesterday, I think. The other thing that's up on my blog right now is a chance to win a free spot in Stacy Julian's Inspired Scrapbooking class. And I think I put that as like the featured blog post, so that's going to be at the top. Today is January 2nd, and I'm going to open the comments. I'm going to leave them open through the 3rd, and then I'll choose the winner on the 4th. Oh, okay, so if you're super concerned about, oh, there is my phone. Oh, that's my daughter with FaceTime, no less. Hello.
Dad?
It's Mom.
I tried to FaceTime Dad.
Oh, well, you got Mommy.
Oh.
I love you, bye.
I love you, bye.
There's technology. FaceTiming from across the house. I have a cold right now, so my daughter really doesn't want to get anywhere near me. I don't even think she wants to talk to me on the phone. There she goes again. I'm just going to let it go. Sorry. Oh, okay, so definitely be careful if you use the ThermoWeb. I think it's because I use the Copics on just sort of regular paper. It compromised the paper a little bit, and that's why it's ripping, because it doesn't usually rip. I think that's not a normal problem that I have with it. Yeah, so if you go over to my blog today, you can leave a comment and tell me about your scrapbooking goals for 2014, and then have a chance to win a free spot in Stacy Julian's inspired scrapbooking class. Okay, so then I have these 2 date nights. So I'm excited to be starting a new class with Stacy Julian. She's really my favorite scrapbook teacher over at Big Picture Classes. She also is the owner, conceiver of it, of Big Picture Classes. But I've been a fan of Stacy Julian's for a long, long time. I think almost 10 years, because I think I first learned about her through Simple Scrapbooks magazine, and she was the founding editor of that magazine, which was like kind of a sister magazine to Creating Keepsakes. And I always, I don't know why, but I never really, like, I never loved Creating Keepsakes like I think a lot of people did. Like, I always thought it was okay. But I loved Simple Scrapbooks. And it wasn't just because I like a more simple layout, because I don't always. I mean, that's not, but it was just the whole philosophy of, you know, keeping what you're doing, you know, telling your story and keeping what you're doing important. And it was really, for me, more about the process of scrapbooking than the result. Sorry, I keep coughing. But I just find Stacy Julian to be like super inspiring. So her inspired scrapbooking class is well named, in my opinion. And I did take her class called 12, which was a year-long class. And I don't usually do well with year-long classes. Like, I've taken other year-long classes, and like, just, you know, by month 4, I'm totally over it. But I loved the class 12, so I'm sure that I'm going to love this class too. I'm really excited. And I'm also excited because, and I haven't looked to see who is in the class, but oftentimes you kind of see the same people in classes over and over again, and so you feel like you have these friends all over the world that you may never meet in real life, but maybe, you never know. Some people you do end up meeting, and I think that's really cool. Okay, I should have spaced out date night because I didn't give it enough room. I haven't given it enough room in my life either. Let's do it backwards this time. So we are going to go on a date tomorrow night. We're going to go out to dinner, and we're probably going to go see Anchorman. We've been to see The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, and I highly recommend that. It was just a beautiful movie to look at, but also the concept of it was really good too. But it was really like, if you've ever wanted to go to Greenland or Iceland and you're not sure you're going to get there anytime soon, like, the scenery was amazingly beautiful. I actually did, at one of the Christmas parties we went to this year, I sat down next to one of my friends that I've known for 20 years, and I was like, so what's up? What's been going on with you? And he said, oh, I just got back from Iceland because it was on my bucket list, and my wife surprised me. So there you go. And so I turned to my husband. I'm like, we should do that. We should surprise each other with like trips to Iceland and like things that are on our bucket list. So in 2014, I would like to do more things that. So I think that's going to be too big for my space. So now I kind of just want to have a little something. I have this card. What do you call these? Love You More Than You'll Ever Know. Journaling and Quote Cards by Pebbles. But I think they're all kind of a little bit too large. Love you. Okay. To put it simply, don't forget. Remember. Yeah, I don't, it would seem like one of these would work, but I don't think they're going to. Oh, okay, then I have That's My Girl. Never lose your sense of wonder. What, love you more than you'll ever know. You're awesome. Love you. I don't think any of these, this one's kind of cool. Let's see. This is a maybe, but I don't know. This one's kind of interesting. It says, I've been thinking we should go on more date nights. I don't know. I think these are a no for me right now. Let me see what else I have as far as, I also have these. But I don't think this is what I'm really after right now. I also have, I love the camera motif. It just makes me really happy. Because I know the selfie was the word of 2013. But let me tell you what, I've been doing selfies since I could hold a camera. Selfies are not new to me. I have selfies from the 70s and 80s, for real. I guess I've just been very self-obsessed. Just really into myself. No. But I do love having pictures. And both of these are selfies. Let's just see. Alright, I think I'm good with that. And I'm going to stick these photos down. And someone also asked me about the Scotch tape that is double-sided, and they thought that was a no-no. And I really want to say I think it's photo safe, but I'm not sure. But I'm also not that worried about it. Because I'll tell you what, I also have scrapbooks from the 80s. The 70s and 80s with tape, and they're fine, like with regular old Scotch tape. I think the magnetic albums from the 70s and 80s really do deteriorate your photos, but in my experience, tape is not something that deteriorates your photos. Just want to tuck that under just a little bit. Okay. Finally cleared off my desk. So I also want to write just like note to self, more date nights in 2014. So I'm out of ends in that. So I might just write it with a, I like to use a Sharpie. Okay, there's a quote that I know that it's like the trick to staying in love is to fall in love with the same person over and over. So I'm going to Google that. To staying in love with the same person over and over. Let me see. What is that quote? Let me do it a different way. Falling in love person over and over. Let's see if I can find it. True love is falling in love with the same person over and over again. True love is falling in love with the same person over and over again. In 2014, we will celebrate 15 years of marriage. By going on more date nights and romantic vacations. So most of our traveling has been with our kids, and we're gonna try to do some. And I don't know if I can get over the mommy guilt of not bringing them, but I think it's important that we do some vacations without them. So that's one of the things. That's one of my goals for 2014. And let me put some doodads on this page so it looks done. So I'm going to look back at that page by Lisa Dickinson, and she had some doodads here, and then she had a lot. What I think I'll do is I'll do here, here, and here. So I'm going to do like a triangle, but I'm not going to do so many as she did. I'll be right back. So my daughter thinks that my, yeah, that's still her. She has my, what do you call it? I'm sorry. It's still me, Allison, it's still me.
Sorry.
That's okay. I love you.
I love you too. Bye.
Bye. Okay, so these are really old epoxy stickers from KI Memories. Oh my gosh, kid. Allison, it's not, it's the wrong number. Stop calling this number, okay? I'm making a video. I love
Sorry.
you, and goodbye.
It says Dad.
Okay, well, call his number with the pad.
Okay,
Okay, bye. Okay, so these videos are unprofessional. Oh, sorry. So I just want to, you and me, how about, just looking for, I'm going to write me and you. I don't think that's probably proper English, but I don't care. I think it makes more sense, me and you. Open this one up. So I would guess these little embellishments are more than 10 years old. I bet you they are. So that just says me and you. And then I think, let's see, I think that I will put the date. Okay, so I was going to do the, I don't really like my placement of those, the embellishments. So what I want to do is a visual triangle with these, so I don't really want them on the same plane, but I think they're going to end up being on the same. Let's see, I could, I'm overthinking it, and I'm just going to even though these photos weren't taken in 2014. I'm talking about my plan for 2014. So 2014. Yeah, I really hate the placement of those. Oh my gosh. I think it's bad. So I don't usually reposition things, but I really did not like that. So, and I also don't really like these, but I'm not going to go so far as, Alright, I think what I'm going to do is probably put that 2014 over here. So I'm kind of more tempted to keep the embellishments close to the photos, but I didn't really like the way it looked. So I'm going to, like normally I would want to put the embellishments closer to the photos so it draws your eye to the photo, but I don't think it looked good. So I'm going to put them way over here, and because these ones are way over here, I'm also going to put the other ones maybe way over here. So, and I think what I'll do is write True Love up here. Yeah. That's what I'll do. If I have a T, I think I do. Alright, I should do it backwards so I don't run out of space. Okay, these are fairly sticky, which is surprising me because they're so old. So I was going to run them along that line, but I don't know, I think that's, I was going to run them along this line, but I don't think I'm going to. I just think it'll look a little hokey. So I just want to run them along the top. Because I didn't really bend any of those, like they're all kind of in straight lines. Okay. Oh. I was going to write True Love, but I just wrote True. That's going to be fine. True. I was going to write True Love, but I think it's fine because there's 4, 4, and then there's 6 over here, so that's fine. These are going back into the bin. And wow, this has been a long video. So I think I'm going to call this done for purposes of the video. And thank you for watching. And don't let this scare you off because not all of my videos are this long. Some of them are much shorter. It just really depends on how fast I'm going and my flow that day. And, you know, the creative process ebbs and flows. Sometimes you can go longer or shorter, but I think that's going to be about done. The only thing I might do afterwards is I'm going to stitch over these, well, I'll just show you. Since I do everything on while I'm doing it, and I did have some stickers that I could use. Let's see. Alright, so I said noted down here. So there's noted. And this says Love Life. I like that. And so I did 2 stickers. Let's do one more. So it kind of, it matches. Let's see. I'm gonna cough, sorry. Oh my gosh. Please let this cold end. Okay, so there's 3 little stickers, and they're not really the visual triangle, but I think that's okay. I've got this one. I don't know if I like that or not. Let me just see. I'm going to pull up this noted here. Nope, it's not coming up. So I'm not going to do that. Let's just see if I have any other hearts. It would seem like I would, but maybe I used them up already. And so now I just want one more kind of red embellishment. Bounce, bounce. This is Here and Now. I don't think that works. No. That does not work. Well, I'm gonna put a cloud. Put a cloud of, that's not good, is it? Okay, let me see if maybe I have something else. I have these little doodads. Okay, this is the point where I think really great scrapbookers can add embellishments and then really make the page amazing. And it's also the time when I think I can go overboard and put so many embellishments on that it starts looking tacky. So let's just try not to do that. I'm just going to put this one little brad up here that's shaped like a heart. Oops. And it's not red, and I could color it red with the Copic. I think I'm just going to leave it. I think what I'll do for the red instead is use just a little washi tape like this. So there's like, it's not really a good, that's not really a great representation of visual triangle, but I think it gives it just a little bit extra something. Yeah, so let me just, oh my gosh, I haven't had a cold in so long, I can't even tell you. So it's weird to have one and remember like, oh, I can't, I'm not, my voice is really compromised. Okay, so I've got my Brother sewing machine out, and I'm going to turn the power on. Hold on. Here we go. Okay. And then I'm just going to stitch right over those. Oops, not good. Okay, if you have an unreliable sewing machine, like I guess I do, then I had a Brother sewing machine before that I really loved. It was a Project Runway sewing machine, and this one is just another Brother, but I don't like it as well as my old one, but it's adequate because I mainly use it for scrapbooking. So I would say if you use a sewing machine just for scrapbooking or mostly for scrapbooking and occasional hemming, you know, you can, I would spend somewhere between like $80 and $150. And that way it's, oh gosh. That way you don't feel like you're going to wreck this really amazing sewing machine with scrapbooking, but it's also good enough that it's you know, you want good enough quality so it's going to work, but not so great that you feel like, oh, I shouldn't be using this for gumming it up with glue and all the other stuff that's going to get into your machine because of things we use in scrapbooking. Like, you really shouldn't be sewing over glue because it will eventually make your machine stop working. So if you have a husband like mine, you can get him on the YouTube and search how to fix your sewing machine. And we've done that more than once with the old one, and I'm sure we'll be doing it with this one. My husband's quite proficient at taking apart sewing machines now, putting them back together. Almost done. I think on one of these I'll switch to a zigzag stitch. Oh, it didn't really work. Yeah, I gotta say, this is not my... I've had probably 5 sewing machines over my life, and this is not my favorite one. It's okay. It's not awesome. Oh my gosh. Come on. But I'll tell you what, when I don't have a working sewing machine, I really love having a sewing machine for scrapbooking. So I think I'm just going to put a little stitching over that washi. Oh gosh. I feel like the footer isn't, like, it's not advancing. It's not working awesome. It's just okay. Okay, so now I think I am pretty much done. Let me just show you the final project. And my other goal for scrapbooking for 2014 is to actually photograph my layout, because that's something I've done for a long time. And in this new scrapbooking space, I've kind of gotten out of doing that, but that is the finished layout. And if you're still with me, thank you for watching. I'm Katie Scott. My blog is called Kiss and Tell Scrapbooking. Thanks. Bye-bye.